communicated, in this case, we communicated with our own cloud and collected information there. And then we have also a laptop for area configuration, how to change the area with the laptop, and how to monitor the system, and how to make firmware updates if needed in this kind of prototype installation. And left to the shuttle carrier, you can see also the laser component. We also tested that one. It is utilized quite widely in our automated systems, and why we tested also laser in this kind of context is that, of course, as mentioned, that there can be that kind of areas that container is blocking the view of the camera, and then you can assist, of course, the system with the laser information on board the Strelker, for example. But it, of course, it is quite expensive component, and in every case, it's not needed, and that's why we have this kind of inventory idea to avoid the utilization of the extra components and expensive components in the system. And on the left-hand side, you can see this kind of simple map user interface, where you have a lot of debug information also, and you can see that what is the status of the machine and the status of the geofence area. And here I will show some examples that how we made the person detection at first, and what kind of areas we can build, and how to visualize that in a camera component itself. And this is the visualization coming from the camera itself. And you can see that it is quite nicely detecting the person walking there with a high visibility vest or jacket, and with a helmet on his head. But of course, we made quite many experiments that what is the view of the camera, and are you looking downwards? You are seeing only head of the guy and shoulders, but that can be made a really reliable detection also, because we made our own teaching for the system, and we teach the system, and of course we teach to the camera system also the Strel carriers and this kind of special objects what we have in this kind of container terminal environment. They are not available in normal libraries. And then when the guy is walking outside this geofence area, of course we are changing the status, and you can see also in this kind of simple interface that one. And we made the same kind of detection tests for the vehicles and different kind of vehicles. This is our own service car here at Tampere, and it was really reliable detection. Of course, this is a normal person car, but it was really reliable with our own machine types like Strel carriers and forklift trucks and reach stackers. And here it like this kind of summary picture how it looks like in our test environment, that we have those two cameras and the edge computer and connected to the Strel carrier, or shuttle carrier in this case. And here is a small video showing that showing how it looks in real environment. That first of all, the guy on the left top video, you can see that he is walking behind the container, and the shuttle carrier is going to approach us quite soon. Now the guy is starting the shuttle carrier, and you can see on the right this mobile phone attached to the rail of the cabin, and you can see the status of the geofenced area in that one. So it's quite easy to see from these videos, and it is not even possible to see this guy behind the container, but of course our cameras can see and detect the guy standing there. And on the right hand side you can see that now it break the virtual geofence area, and it changed the status, and we slowed down the machine, and it was much more safer in this case, and the driver knew that okay, there is a guy he can't see it, but we are slowing down the machine because the guy is standing somewhere inside the area. So this was my presentation about the virtual fence, and because we made the implementation for the reach stacker in some places, and we tested also that one, and of course you can extend this same idea to the whole terminal area. You can make those virtual areas to other places. Of course, this is a bit difficult area, this under STS crane, as you already heard, that you don't have satellite visibility and so on, and that's why we made also tests with the reach stacker, and that was working quite nicely. And then we also tested a few ideas that if you utilize this kind of nice wearables, you can have this kind of watch type component, or you can install this component to your helmet, and it is giving rough position information where the guy is walking, but of course the position is not so accurate inside that kind of area where you have containers, many metal surfaces, and you have this kind of multipath quite bad situation in that environment. But it is giving quite nice information that where the guy is roughly standing, and of course if you are combining different kind of systems, that is possible to make it more reliable. And we utilized, for example, ultra-wideband technology in this one, and it was quite nicely working in this kind of environment. On the right-hand side, you can see that this kind of nice high visibility vest, and we attached new components to that one, and they are really lights on those shoulder parts, and it is giving more visibility to the vest itself, and it is quite nice feature in some areas, and you can blink those lights, and you can have text also made in the same principle, and that might be one solution in this kind of environment to improve the safety. Okay, thank you. That was my presentation about the safety.
Thank you very much, Pekka. Again, really nice overview about this concept of virtual geofencing and how we could apply also a standardization. Of course, here it's paramount to have a common layer of data exchange, as port terminals they use constantly equipment from different manufacturers. So each type of equipment should be able to talk, take, and to understand the position in which the machine is at any time, to make all this concept applicable in a real terminal. So again, a clear case of application, and as you can see, there is much more beyond operations. We have seen maintenance, energy, now safety, and well, all this gives, I think, a complete overview, a complete picture of the full variety of benefits that we could gain as an industry by applying these standards. And well, we have finished the program. When we elaborated the agenda, we said that we were going to finish around 10 past 16, and we are 6 minutes ahead. So not bad for a conference that is now 3 hours and 40 minutes. I think we are perfectly on time. And then I would like to give maybe some minutes to the audience, if in case you, for those braves that are still here with us, that maybe you may have any question or comment. We are very happy to answer or to complement your views. It's been a long meeting, so.
But we are more than 10, no? So some guests are here. Now you can ask whatever you want. How is the weather in Marseille? Very well.
Yeah, we have -10 and a lot of snow.
But here it's raining today.
And
Yeah,
well,
cold and little snow.
There is, yeah, apparently there is a question. Yeah, what happens next with iTerminals project? Well,
you want to know what happened next? It depends, but for example, in CMA, in all our equipments, you have to be TIC 4.0 compliance with was level 2. That means we have a lot of the most important data and with a push technology. So they have to export the data. That is for all the equipment of CMA. Why? Because now we are deploying at least every year, the minimum we are going to do is 2 terminals to digitalize, to put big data. So it changed everything from nobody understand what is this and how to use the data to full implementation in all the group. Of course, we start with the big terminals. This makes sense. This big data for a tiny terminal of 2 cranes, not yet. But in the ranking, it's going to be 2, 3, 4 terminals every year. And my colleague Nasser is here to do that. Say hello. Yes.
Oh, so he's going to be a busy man.
Yes. But the reason he's with me is to do this reality.
I think it's important to say that iTerminals was a project funded by EU to implement and try out pilots of it and of TIC language, and so as a project, always when there's probably an end to a project, and but the TIC language and is here to stay, and talking TIC, and I think important part. Also having the hobby horse of being vice president of TIC 4.0 is now we have proven to many parts of the industry that our language works, and so it's time to talk more TIC, and because TIC gonna stay, I think that's for sure, and so TIC is a permanent association, and we continue working on new releases and new things, and I think, Jose, you're more entitled to say something about iTerminals and the project itself than I would probably be.
Well, yeah, I would say that we did a big effort during these years, and also taking into account the pandemic, because well, maybe it starts to be like in the past, but we should remember that in early 2020, everyone was locked down. We couldn't meet physically. We spent around 1 year and a half just meeting online and trying to advance with the project. And despite all these difficulties, I think we covered the objectives of the project, and we discovered many potential areas in which we could, or we should definitely keep working. Especially in this last phase of the conference, we have seen the huge potential of application in maintenance, in the energy efficiency, in safety. I think that just every part or every piece of this could be in itself a single project as well. So I think we have now more ideas than we had when we started, and we hope that we can guide those ideas towards more projects and more application of standards And as you say, Norbert, TIC is an association that is alive, is constantly growing and delivering. Next week, we will, as an association, we will deliver a new technical release reflecting the progress that we are doing. So I will just invite the audience to follow us on our networks and continue in touch with us and looking for more opportunities. I think there is a comment or a question. What new skills and competencies will need to have the workers to successfully deal with the new generation of terminals?
Also, there is a raised hand.
Okay. So one after another. This who would like to comment on this training skills?
I can talk a lot about that.
Yeah, I know.
My experience. I spent 1 year to find someone able to work with this concept with big data. So is Nasser is here with me. Maybe he can explain better than me or how is this, but basically we were looking someone able to read and understand data and see the reality through the data, so to really make analysis of the data, but at the same time understand operations, at the same time understand maintenance, and at the same time not only to be a super technical guy with data science, that is a profile that already exists, but someone able to connect data with people and people with data, because you have to understand that 99% of our people are not able to understand the data and the new concepts. And that is the job of Nasser. Maybe Nasser can give you the experience of how is the new role that we need in the sector, that is your position, in fact, for the it's a new position for manage this concept of data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The mic. Yeah.
Is everybody understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now
Okay.
yes.
Thank you, Francisco. Of course, I will say that the most important thing for that project is the link between the project itself and the community and the terminals, because terminals are doing a lot of things on a day-to-day basis, and this kind of project that are huge is sometimes not understood very properly by the terminal itself. So the key is the message, understanding of the project itself, and of course when it comes the times to discuss when it comes the time to discuss one step at the time about the semantics, the language, of course you need someone who can understand all this kind of stuff, who is capable to manage the information and translate in a good way for the terminals. And for me, communication is, I guess, the best practice that you can have to build a strong partnership with the terminal itself. And obviously, as Kuro said just before, you need to understand a complex environment in this project, which is complex, of course, we all know that, you better than me. A complex environment also, and all the subtleties that you can have in a terminal, and manage all these kind of things and try to find out not the best way only, but the fastest way to get through the point with this project in the terminal. So my job consists effectively to support Kuro on that project and try to do the best as I can to lead and to implement all the steps we need in all the terminal that we have to implement it. So finally speaking, you all know that the first step will be make everyone understand the semantics, make everyone agree that this project is a beauty and the final outcomes is something very, very powerful. This is not very hard to understand, and now we are coming the time when a lot of things has been done so far, we have something to put together and to prove that this is something very clever and very, very easy to understand, that because now we are a lot of things to put on the screen as you've done today, guys.
Thank you, Nasser. But other people with similar profile to this that is completely new is Heinz Security, is Curros, is Norbers. You need that profile of operations and process versus data, and we don't have it. We have to train people. We have to find that people under the stone. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I think you'll see some, as I said, also you get some in this different areas of TIC, because it's like describing basically everything. So you'll have a hard time of people that understand all the processes. So you'll have, in the end, I think, specialists in certain areas of certain parts of TIC, whether that's really on the maintenance or whether that's on the safety or whether that's on the operations. And even those you can still, these are like worlds on their own. You still divide in some people. So I think finding the people that have that overview overall will be, very difficult, or will only grow over time. And it's also maybe not realistic if, say, everybody can know all. So.
Okay, there is one hand raised. Jörg?
Yes. First of all, thank you very much being part of this conference meeting, which was a really short term and a short event from my perspective. And thank you very much to all these presenters, which is really great to understand and get the visibility of how TIC 4.0 really ends up in real life operation. That was very impressive to see, and also these kind of possibilities the TIC offers. And as well, thanks for Pekka's last presentation, which brought up a new dimension in my understanding, as we are the sensor manufacturer, and by natural we are as well providing data. What we differentiate is the automatization and digitization on one hand side, and the safety on the other hand. And even as a member of the TIC, I should answer the question now by myself, but I would like to address this more to Kuro and team. When it comes to safety operations and to real functional safety, is there any kind of distinguish between data communication required in the future, or might that be covered on the existing setup when it comes to redundancy and human safety? So the functional safety topic itself, is that a part of the still existing TIC communication, or need there to be some additional communication paths required? Thank you.
Do you want to answer, Kuro, or?
No. But you are the master in this, Pekka, yeah. And you always tell me the same. Hey. This is not safety.
Yeah, of course, functional safety it's a bit tricky for us, and because we are working in outside conditions, and it is not making sensor manufacturers' life not easier, and how to standardize the outside conditions, and that's really a key thing. But at the moment, of course, we are utilizing this kind of networks like ProfiSafe and other safety certified networks, and utilizing those in the onboard system, and that is one way. And of course, we can utilize TIC communication and these kind of communications together. That is one way to implement that one. But it's really seed to thoughts that should we think that inside TIC also that is it going to be someday also supporting safety aspects, and I don't know yet, but.
I mean, this example you brought up with the straddle carrier and with these safety areas, as you said, it provides safety then without such kind of a solution. So from terminal operating perspective, this is really a big step forward, providing safe operation. But I'm just wondering whether it is in line with functional safety, and when it comes really to an accident, and it comes to assurance and cost issues and stuff like that, and who has the fault and blah blah blah. Yeah. So then it is more to evaluate whether these functional safety needs to be taken into consideration. And yes, you are right, it is outdoor environment, it is pretty difficult to have this functional safety in place. There are some standards in the meantime who are dealing with that kind of challenges, but yeah, just to sensitize. But finally saying it is an absolutely great step forward, and TIC offers these possibilities which were not visible in the past. So I'm really happy and proud to continue this as well. And seeing these iTerminals project gives me really full power and reload batteries now to continue working on that as well from the little sensor perspective point of view then as well. Yeah. Thank you.
I think maybe also one comment to it, Jörg, it also depends a bit from which perspective you're looking at it, also normative wise. Are we looking really, say, from the equipment? I think from the equipment itself, there's typically quite straightforward machine directive. And there's also all kinds of incentives, I think, that are kind of involving, whether it's like, I would say that the normatives that are there for like IoT-like devices or operational technology, like the IEC normatives for like communication. There is this kind of stuff on the red going on for radio emissive directive. So I think what we'll see in the next years is that there is some cohesions there that actually where we see also from European Union. I think it's starting to come together and say, hey, we have this combination of things going on machine directive, somewhere operational area, operational technology. So there will come some fusion. I think in the end there will also come some legal framework for those, especially for when it comes down to safety. I think that is also typically from Europe. There we try to do that from a centralized way, so we cover the whole. And I think,
yeah.
But there will definitely be cases, I think, where this is currently as a whole. I think is I'm not sure if it's even covered at this moment.
Yeah.
May I maybe take a little bit different last question, which is still on the board, not to kind of cut that, but I think we are diverting a little bit in a very specific area of interest. But there was a question about whether TIC gonna expand to global use somewhere up in the chat. I lost it. So I think it's good to say iTerminals was a European funded project, which basically also means it involved European companies and it was on European part. But TIC is a global association, and what Kudo has been saying, what PSA has been saying, this is gonna evolve across the whole. If CMA rolls it out on all the terminals, that already means it's a global thing. And in TIC, Jose, you said, no, Boris said in the beginning, we have over 40 members from almost every continent. So we have South America, North America, Australia, Asia, Europe. So it is a global standard and it's evolving. I think maybe just the iTerminals project was a European funded project. That's why it happened in Europe and why most of the focus was in Europe, obviously. Hope that answers that question. Now,
Okay.
I get back to you, Jose, to 6
Well,
minutes after. To
Yeah,
close,
we
maybe.
were, but we are quite well in timing. Yeah, well, I would like to, before closing, giving big thanks to all of you, all the project partners, and for the effort done during these 3 years, and especially in preparing this closing conference. I think you did a great job, and well, on behalf of the whole, I mean, I'm sure that I'm speaking on behalf of the whole audience. Big thank you for your high quality presentations, the very nice videos, the really relevant discussions that we have had this afternoon and evening. And yes, well, I'm not sure if closing now. I feel that we should do it. But yes, now we are out of the time. So I will invite, I don't see people that has been part of the project. Maybe if you, or even all the audience here, if you feel like opening your cameras, we could just take a final group photo, you know, as a, yeah, as a memory of this nice day. Thank you.
We are going to break down Teams.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. I'll try to take a screenshot of you if you agree with that, and we will use as part of the report that we will deliver, of course.
I miss the old days with the demo days in the terminal, and the party, and the fireworks, and the bus, and the lunch. Where are those days?
Next European project.
They will come. Yeah, why not in the next project?
And maybe one thing as well to Fundación Valencia Board and Jose, your team, thank you very much for supporting the whole project team on all these, let's say, administrational things that you also have to deal with in the European projects, and how you did that,
Yeah,
how you guided us, and very professional. Thank you very much to the whole team for helping us on that, so we could concentrate on putting IoT devices on reach deckers and into software and that stuff. So.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. And it's been a real pleasure collaborating with you and helping you and giving support, of course. Our pleasure. Okay, so again, big thanks to everyone for attending this meeting. Thank you for your time. I know it's very difficult to, stay more than 4 hours in a conference meeting. This is totally unusual. So thank you. We keep in touch. You have our contact. So if you want to know more, to ask anything, please come to us, and we will be happy to continue discussing. Now I will just close the meeting. So.
Maybe we end with an applause for all.
Yeah, bravo. Good job.
Okay,